Hello and welcome everyone to Limitless Formula Racing. We are here at the Belgian Grand Prix and here at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps for, of course, the LFR race. This is the LGE coverage of the Belgian Grand Prix for the Tuesday Night Racing League. This is round 10 of Season 2, and I'm your commentator, Formula Jonah, for this race in LFR. So let's get the racing underway. Today we're here at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps, which is located in Spa, Belgium. Spa is Belgium's most popular tourist destination, and Spa is 70 miles away from Brussels, which is one of Belgium's most famous cities. In terms of the track, we got 20 turns to make up a circuit length of 7.004 kilometers. That's 4.352 miles long. There's also 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking, one down the main straight, and that's down into Losace, the first turn. Not the biggest amount of overtaking into that first turn, but there is a possibility, of course. But there's always that long straight down the Kemmel Straight, and that is the second DRS zone, the biggest DRS zone. That's where we're going to see the most overtakes for around here. But surprisingly, the first turn, like I said, the DRS zone, the first DRS zone, doesn't provide a ton of overtakes. The most overtaking opportunity besides the second DRS zone on the Kemmel Straight would be down into the chicane of turn 18. That's down into the Brussels section, or sorry, not Brussels, Blanchimont section of the track, as you're going to get a lot of slipstream down into that chicane. So, with the track details aside, let's get into the Grand Prix here at LFR. Like I said, we're here for round 10 of the Season 2 Championship race. I'm your commentator today, Formula Jonah. If you don't know who I am, you can check me out on YouTube and Twitch. So you can go check out all my commentary, all my motorsport content, and all that sort of thing. So go check that out. Subscribe to me, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, the LFR YouTube channel. Definitely subscribe to that. And yeah, like I said, I'll be taking you along the just the route of all the racing here today in LFR in today's Belgian Grand Prix. And yeah, let's get this race underway. So right now we got Bugs Bunny on top, the Ferrari driver at 148.2, and right now these conditions out on track are not the best. You can see the track just a little bit wet out there. The drivers are still out on the dry compound tires, but you can just see riding on board with a few of these drivers that the weather is coming down. There's a few droplets of rain there coming down on the track, a few puddles forming as well, and as you can see with this Aston Martin driver, the conditions are not the best for around there, especially with the dry tires. Of course, it's getting a little bit slippery out there, so the drivers are going to have a little bit difficult time into corners, especially for braking and just coming on the power as well. So right now in our qualifying session, it is going to be a very interesting one. So real quickly, I just want to let you guys all know, in today's race, we're going to get a very, very interesting format. This is different from the usual format that we usually do here at LFR, but today we're going to be doing the sprint qualifying format. So this is how it's going to work out, guys. We're doing our short qualifying session, which we are doing right now, and whoever qualifies on pole will start first in the sprint qualifying. In that sprint race, we're going to have a 5-lap shootout that will have drivers going at it for 5 laps, just 5 laps, and whoever comes out on top will start on the top for the actual Grand Prix, which will be the normal 50% race. So basically, we're going to get our short qualifying, then our 5-lap race, and then our 50% race, of course. That will be the main points. In terms of points, the sprint qualifying format will allow for some points in today's race. 10 points for first, 7 points for second, 5 points for third, and 3 points for fourth, 2 points for fifth, and 1 point for sixth. So the top 6 will be scoring points in today's sprint qualifying. And then we'll see, of course, the race will have the normal points scoring format. But today, while we have this sprint qualifying, we're going to have a very, very, a lot of drivers getting a lot more points. That's what I'm basically saying here. Because the thing is that usually the top number of points that you're usually getting in a race is around 26 if you get the top position, the first place, of course, and then the fastest lap as well. That would be the most number of points in a race. But because we have the sprint qualifying format, we have up to 36 points, if I'm not mistaken, up for grabs here today. That is a huge amount of points, especially into this championship fight. We have just a few rounds left, of course, and we're getting into that moment where we're starting to think about that championship, of course. So it's gonna get really interesting. Speaking of the championship, we got Tim on top right now in this short qualifying session and also in the championship as well. The Aston Martin team leads away in the constructors as well. Tim on top. He's got 138.5 points to his name. Rab in the Haas, I do believe. He's in third place as it stands. He's second in the championship. 127 points to the Haas driver's name. And as I said, you can get a lot of points up for grabs here today. 36 points is the max number of points you can get in today's race. So that's going to be critical for whoever can get this. It's going to be really interesting to see how this works out. So if Rab grabs more points than Tim, if Rab maybe grabs 36 points fastest lap, and the max number of points in both the sprint qualifying format and the race as well, he could be in contention, like really up there against Tim. He's going to be taking the lead of the championship, and he'll have like a huge gap to the Aston Martin driver. So it's going to be interesting, and vice versa can go for Tim as well. If he gets the max number of points today, he could really take a lead in the championship. But we'll find out how that all works out, as a few drivers are battling away in the midfield as well. We got that nice battle for basically third in the championship. Yunwon, King, Roar, Apex, and Dr. Wolfang all in that battle for third. There's a few other drivers that are actually involved in that as well, but it's going to be a very interesting championship to go in Tuesday night's Racing League, of course. So let's get the end of the qualifying session underway. The rain is starting to come down a little bit, but I think you can see the Aston Martin driver just struggling to get on the power there. I think it's about the same conditions that we were starting out with when we started the stream. So it hasn't really changed a lot, but I think the rain might be easing up a little bit more. I can't really tell. I can't really see too much on track as it stands. Unfortunately, the commentator booth does not get the weather forecast, but you actually can see a lot of rain in Sector 2 right now, right on board with Ravi in that Haas car. Look how much rain is coming down on track, and you can see him just turning into campus section now. He's having to kind of fight the car as he comes through there. He is purple, though, in the second sector, so he is actually flying right here. That Haas car could be going for a good result here today. Rabbi in that Haas, P3, Freedom in the Haas, and P4. The Haas is looking really good today, but let's see what they can do. Can the Haas driver get P1 in the Grand Prix? Rab in that Haas coming into turn 18. Ooh, he actually braked really well with these very difficult conditions. Now it's all about this exit out of that corner. He comes to the line now. Can he stick it on pole? Yes, he does. He does go fastest overall. 147.7 for the Haas driver. That's almost 5/10 faster than his rival in the championship. That is a very, very good lap time by Rab in the Haas car. He puts it fastest overall in our short qualifying session. So real quickly, I just want to let you guys all know, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to see more LFR content on this YouTube channel. If you also want to check out me, you can check out my commentary, all that motorsport content, by looking up Formula Jonah on YouTube. So definitely subscribe to both channels. If you're enjoying the commentary, smash the like button as well, and send in some few comments. I'd like to see a few comments coming in, your predictions, your thoughts on the sprint qualifying format. I bet you guys have a lot of questions about that and are excited as well about this new format into this race. So definitely put your thoughts in the comments below, and yeah, just give it everything. So we got 3 minutes remaining of the qualifying session here today. I think a few drivers are probably going to go out on track again. The thing is that the conditions are getting worse. I can tell you the conditions are getting a little worse, especially through sector 2 right now. Not seeing too much rain in the first and third sector, but through sector 2, we're getting a lot of rain there, and that's going to affect a lot of the times, especially through the end of sector 2, since it's more of you want higher downforce in that section of the track, and you're coming on the power, you're braking a lot more into sector 2, you're coming off the power, you're coming on the power in sector 2 a lot, so that's going to really affect your end result when it comes to just driving the car. So we'll see how it all works out, but I think Sector 2 is going to be the biggest pain for these drivers. Looks like turn 17 at Blanchimont, that was a difficult corner for a few drivers. We're riding on board with Rab coming through that section right now, but it looks like he had to lift off a little bit. So I wonder if these drivers are struggling just a little bit. So Tim comes out on a fresh set of soft compound tires. Let's see what he can do as Freedom rejoins the session. I do believe he had a little glitch there or something like that, had to reconnect to the server, but he's back into the lobby. Now, the question is, can Tim improve on his lap? Now, he is a few tenths behind Rab in the Haas car, and this is going to be very, very critical for Tim because points are up for grabs in the sprint qualifying. So right now, whoever starts on pole is going to have the biggest advantage, but we'll see how it all works out. And I'm getting like Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton vibes here right now because Rab and Tim battling for that championship, starting first and second as it stands. If no one else improves on their time, and they're going to start like that, I think we're getting a very interesting start to the Grand Prix. Belgium has had some chaotic starts. Hopefully we don't get that in today's, or either start of the Grand Prix, the sprint qualifying or the race, but sometimes those things can happen. We've had a lot of interesting starts to the real-life Belgian Grand Prix. Who can forget 2018 when Nico Hulkenberg hit the back of Fernando Alonso, went right over the top of Charles Leclerc. That halo did save the Sauber, now Ferrari driver, life, of course. So a lot of interesting sections to worry about here for this track. Of course, there's a lot of turns that can be quite difficult, to master. And as I said, there's a lot of corners, a lot of first laps that we've had in real F1 that have seen a lot of crashes, but hopefully we don't get that here today. But Tim about to start his lap. Let's ride on board with the Aston Martin driver as he just goes through that ghosted tire. I think that's a little bit of a glitch. As we come down to turn 1, you want to brake at the 100-meter mark, maybe just a little bit sooner due to these this rain on track. Through the sauce we go, gets right in that curve, perfect as he comes through the uphill section of a Rouge and Radio, one of the most difficult corners on the entire Formula 1 calendar, through turn 2, 3, and 4, as you're kind of blind coming up that section because you have no idea what's happening. As the Aston Martin driver, I think just ahead, I think he might be able to give his teammate a tow, as that's going to really help him out there. As Tim comes through Lecombs now, turn 5, 6, and 7. Qualifying is over, so Tim has one lap to try and improve, and that is an invalidation for the Aston Martin driver. You can see him shaking the wheel there. He's absolutely furious with that one as he just went a little bit too inward on his turning there, and unfortunately, that is an invalidation for Tim. He's going to be not improving on that time, and he's going to be starting second at least to his rival starting first. Can anyone else improve? That is the question. TTV, Bugs Bunny in the Ferrari, looking pretty good as he comes through turn 11 now. Gets a little wide, but I wonder if that didn't give him an invalidation, so that's good. But the Ferrari driver coming through Pouan we go. Let's see what he can do as he comes through turn 10 and 11. Now into 12 and 13. The chicane this is where I said it's going to be very interesting because of the conditions. The braking and the acceleration off the corner as well as, the Williams right in the middle of the track. Hopefully that Williams gets out of the way as Bugs Bunny's purple in the second sector. He might be going faster. That Williams is right in the middle though. I think he's going to have to get out of the way. As he's not getting out of the way, I wonder if he's on a lap as well. This could hurt Bugs Bunny. He's having a break there. And this is really unfortunate. Bugs Bunny might, that Williams goes off the track as well. Bugs Bunny coming through the last couple of turns. This might have compromised his lap as here he comes to the line. The Ferrari driver, can he improve and go on pole position? He goes P2, splits the two championship contenders. Bugs Bunny did not grab pole by just 1/10 of a second. That might have just affected his lap, what Ryan did there. And that could be the stewards might have to look into that because that was affecting Bugs Bunny's lap as well. And I do believe the Williams driver was not on a lap there, so that might be a penalty for the Williams driver. But it looks like qualifying is over unless Flea can put it ahead. No, he can't. The conditions is too terrible out there. He's going to start P7 on the grid, but it is Rab in the Haas car, the second place driver in the championship, on pole by just 1/10 to Bugs Bunny. I feel like that Ferrari driver could have gotten pole position, but it just wasn't meant to be. But of course, sprint qualifying is coming up, and that should change the results as well. But your top 3 for today: Rab on pole for the short qualifying format, of course. Then we got Bugs Bunny in that Ferrari just by 1/10 of a second there to the Haas driver, and the championship leader Tim is starting P3. So that's your grid for the sprint qualifying format. Rab on pole. Let's see what he can do. Can he keep that? We will see. Now, the conditions were quite interesting in that session, of course. I want to say terrible. They weren't absolutely terrible, but they were hard to manage. I could see that from a lot of the drivers out there. So hopefully we don't get rain in the sprint qualifying, but who knows? That might be interesting. We'll see how it all works out. But here comes the 5-lap shootout. Who will come out on top? We got the top 3 really in a chance of getting a good result. The 2 Aston Martins starting starting 3rd and 4th. Let's see what they can do on the second row of the grid. But it looks like the drivers are ready to go for our sprint qualifying session in today's race. Like I said before, we are just going in for a 5-lap shootout for this sprint qualifying. And then, of course, we'll get into the race. Now, as I said as well, a lot of points are up for grabs here today. This is almost like a real race, of course, with all the points up for grabs. This could be very, very interesting. But the 5 red lights are out for the LFR sprint race. And the lights are out, and away we go. Looks like a pretty good start for the Ferrari. Bugs Bunny trying to challenge Rab. Down into turn 1 we go. The Aston Martin of Tim trying to go down the inside. Looks to make the move, but couldn't make it on the first place driver. There goes the Ferrari off the track. The Aston Martin of Tim gets up at a second place now. Bugs Bunny looks to have a difficult start there. As the Aston Martin now trying to make a move. Roar on the Ferrari. There's a yellow flag. That's the other Ferrari of Nero. Down in turn 2, I think that is. But look at the slipstream. Up into the first turn. Look at Tim on his championship rival. Here we go. The Aston Martin driver trying to make a move on Rab, but he can't make it. Into Le Combs we go. As King trying to go side by side with the Aston Martin driver. There's great battling going on there between 4th and 5th position. The Haas of Freedom trying to get involved in that as well, as that is the AlphaTauri of Flea, who started P7 in the Grand Prix, is down to P16. But look up the field. We got Bugs Bunny making his way as well after a difficult start to the Grand Prix. He got a good start, but then got a little forced off the track, I would say, or went wide, and unfortunately moved down to P3. But Bugs Bunny now trying to challenge Tim, who's trying to challenge Rab, the 2 championship contenders, as that is a yellow flag. I think that might be Contra in the Red Bull that has spun up. Oh, and there's major contact between the 2 Red Bulls there. That is Dave and Contra that have both made contact. Both Red Bulls have made contact there. And I do believe Contra, who spun at Puan, had the contact with his teammate, and maybe was recovering from that, and there was contact with the 2. Unfortunately, that has happened, and both Red Bulls are going to be down the positions. No points for them here today. As, oh, Contra spins the car again. He's going to have to recover from that one. Up at the front, though, Rab, the second place driver in the championship, leads us away by Tim in P2, and then Bugs Bunny in P3. Fastest lap goes to the Haas driver as expected. And the 2 McLarens now up to P7 and 8 as we have a nice battle for P5 in the Grand Prix Freedom. Trying to go to the switchback maneuver on the AlphaTauri driver of King. King gets the better line, though, and Freedom has to back out of that one. Here comes King with the slipstream against Roar. I wonder if he's running a little less downforce than a few of these drivers here. But that AlphaTauri really looking for some good positions here today, as there's only 5 laps in this Grand Prix. A long lap this is, but still, there's only a few places to make an overtake. That AlphaTauri driver looking for P4 in the Grand Prix, possibly even a podium as well. This is going to get really interesting. Up at the front, Tim has closed the gap now to 0.4 of a second to Rab. This battle is really, really working out for these 2 drivers here. Bugs Bunny in that Bugs Bunny in the Ferrari just spun off the curb at Puan, and whenever he hit the inside curb, he's just spun the car. The Ferrari driver spins it round, and now he's going to be moving down a few positions here, down to P12, it looks like. And that is super unfortunate for the Ferrari driver who started second place in the Grand Prix. He's going to be down to P12 and looks to be starting there, but he has to make his recovery to try and start higher in the actual Grand Prix. But this has allowed Tim to now take the pressure off of the Ferrari driver right behind, because there was a Ferrari right behind. Now there is not. Now all he has to do is fight his championship rival. This is going to get really interesting. Verstappen Hamilton vibes I'm getting right here between these 2. Tim's teammate Roar in the Aston Martin is now up to P3, but he's got Keen. As you can see, that battle right behind, just battling away for P3 now. Keen's going for the podium, which will be, of course, this will be the P3 in the Grand Prix. Ooh, Tim goes a little wide. Did set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but now DRS is enabled. The Aston Martin driver is going to have a major slipstream. Down to turn 5 we go, as up the hill into Radion. Rab trying to keep that position. ERS enabled. He's trying to break the slipstream of the Aston Martin driver. As here goes Tim, and he's just made that move. The Aston Martin is up into P1 now. And that was a pretty good overtake for the Haas driver. Nothing that Rab could, or sorry, good overtake by Tim. Nothing that Rab could do because that Aston Martin was just flying. The DRS is super powerful for around here. So the championship leader is back up to P1. Rab will be down to P5. And he's going to have to make sure that he tries and challenges Tim, who's absolutely flying right now. The driver that started P3 is now up to P1 in the race, and that'll be the max amount of points. And if Rab wants to make sure that he keeps this championship alive, then he's got to overtake Tim. So we'll see how that all works out. Moving down the rest of the field, we got Roar still holding back Keen, who's under pressure from Freedom in that Haas car. You can see that Haas just right behind the AlphaTauri. He's 4/10 behind the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri are third in the championship race, so King needs some points for today if he's going to have to challenge the Haas guys. But right now, they're both in the top 5, and here comes one of those Haas's. Freedom looking to move on King. He's got a lot of slipstream from the back of the AlphaTauri car. Let's see if he can try and make a move. He's using a little bit of ERS as we come down into the chicane, looking for a dive bomb on the AlphaTauri. Kim defending the inside line. The Haas driver cannot get past quite yet. As Tim sets the fastest lap of the race. Round 2 is coming up here. Can Rab take it back off of Tim? Let's find out. As the Haas driver has the ERS, he's going to have the slipstream and the DRS and the raw speed of that car to try and get past the Aston Martin as fast as possible. Contra gets a 2-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I do believe he has a little bit of damage after the contact with his teammate there. As here comes Rab using the power of the Haas car and the DRS that has been enabled for him to get up into P1. Keen is trying to make a move on Roar as well as the AlphaTauri gets up into P3, but the battle's not over as Freedom trying to make a move on the on the Aston Martin as well as he sets the purple sector in sector 1. Goes a little bit too wide though, has to back off of that one. And Roar in the Aston Martin is now down to P4. Freedom in the Haas car in P5. Keen in P3 now. So the lead has changed hands and the third place has changed hands. Rab back up into P1 and Tim down to P2. And the Aston Martin is going to try and fight this one back against Keen. And the Aston Martin will try and get ahead of that AlphaTauri as soon as possible. As, oh, that is, I do believe, the Alpine of Laddie CZ that has just spun off at Puan, if I'm not mistaken. Down to P13 now, the Alpine driver is. That's unfortunate, of course, but these things do happen. Doesn't look like he has any damage to that Alpine car, but he's going to be moving down a few positions. As look at this, we got, I do believe that's Roar. Oh, a three-way battle for P2, or P3, sorry, in the Grand Prix. As they're looking to go 3 wide down into turn 19, that wasn't going to be working out for them. But Freedom, I think, just about gets past. But the Aston Martin looking to fight this one back. They both have DRS off of Kane. It's a 3-way battle for P3 in the Grand Prix. Now we got Dr. Wolfing involved in that as well. You can see that McLaren just coming up into that. But the two are still side by side. Freedom and Roar coming down into a Rouge we go. Who's going to come out ahead? They're not going to go side by side. Are they going to go side by side? No, they don't. Roar just goes around the outside, but the Haas spins it round and Freedom into the wall there. As Tim makes the move, the race lead. Tim back up at a P1 now. But Freedom has just spun the car, and unfortunately that Haas driver is down to P7. He might have damage as well, and that is super unfortunate. As Keen and Roar still go side by side. Roar gets ahead of Keen. The two Aston Martins make moves, and they have got past both of their rivals in today's race. But I gotta say, unfortunate to see Freedom off the track there. That's gonna help AlphaTauri in the championship to get a little bit more points than they were expecting, of course. Unfortunately, though, Keem lost that position to Roar. So Roar back up to P3. King down to P4 now. Rab now down to P2 because Tim has overtaken him. I wonder if Rab is going to go for a last corner overtake on the Aston Martin driver. He's sizing this move up on the Aston Martin. Yellow flag, that is the Alfa Romeo of Basel there. as he spun off a pool on that corner. Could be quite difficult, but look at Rab using all the ERS he can. The two championship contenders onto the final lap of the sprint qualifying race here today. Is the Haas driver going to try and go for a move? I think the Aston Martin trying to defend. As he does defend, Rab cannot get past. Tim trying to keep that position. He's looking to go for the switchback maneuver. Is it going to work out? No, it's not, because Tim comes to the line and just barely grabs the sprint qualifying race victory here today. He grabs 10 points and will start on pole for the 50% race. Rab will finish in P2. It's a double podium for Aston Martin as well, as Roar comes across the line in P3. What an exciting sprint qualifying race that truly was. Lots of drivers involved in a great battle that we truly had here in this 5-lap sprint qualifying. It was truly incredible. Now on to the 50% race, and yeah, I can't wait for more action. All right, so the sprint qualifying is over. And what a race that truly was. Incredible from our drivers here today. Very, very impressive. Extremely impressive. It's just an incredible race. It truly was. I also saw a comment that came through in the YouTube chat here today asking how to join this league. That's actually a really good question. How do you join this league? I think the best way to probably join this league would be to contact these guys, most likely email them, or as well, I joined the Discord. I think that's probably the best way you guys can contact these guys to get into the league. I'm sure the league is looking for some drivers. I don't know. I'm just the commentator. I don't know all that information, but I'm sure these guys are looking for some drivers. So definitely join the Discord. I think there will be a link in the description below after this live stream. I don't know for sure on that, but yeah, definitely join the Discord server. You guys will be able to join there. So it looks like we're about to end off the sprint qualifying format. We'll see the podium finishers here today. Congrats to the Aston Martin drivers as well. Really a great result for those guys. They get a lot of points here today, extend their championship lead as well. Great to see. I saw another comment came in. Where's the link to the Discord? I do believe that will be in the description down below of this video. It's not posted at this time because we're doing the live stream, but after this live stream is finished, it will be there. Yeah, that will be I think the only way really to see the Discord server, unless contacting one of the admins of the league itself. And you can do that, of course, by emailing. I think that'll be the best way to do that. But anyway, the Belgian Grand Prix results of the sprint qualifying format. Tim on top for Aston Martin, Rab in P2 for Haas, and Roar rounding off the top 3 for Aston Martin. Great race. Now let's move on to the 50% race. Okay, so let's get this 50% race underway. What's going on right now, guys, is that we are waiting for the admins to sort out the grid because this is how it kind of works with the game. So it will just be a few minutes of waiting, probably around, I'd say, a max of 5 minutes. And then we'll get our 50% race. We're kind of have an intermission here today, if you will. But while we have that chance, I guess we can talk about just some stuff. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments section below. I'll try and answer them as much as possible. We don't really have a ton to talk about, just besides really what happened in that sprint race. Actually, let's start off by talking about that. What an amazing race that truly was. Tim on top, Rab in P2. Now, his championship rival, Tim, took the most points out of that one. 10 points for the Aston Martin driver, 7 points for the Haas driver. 4 points the difference between first and second place, but Tim beats out Rab, and now the question is, will Rab come back from this sprint race and look to take first off of Tim in the actual race itself, the 22 laps of the Belgian Grand Prix here, of course, in Spa-Francorchamps. So we'll see how that all works out. Also, a nice little battle for P3 we saw there. Roar, King, and Freedom were involved in that one. Freedom, unfortunately, had that spin. Unfortunately, finished P8 in the end of that one. He's going to look to get some better points in today's race itself. Also, good result from the two McLarens as well. Dr. Wolfang and Warren score P5 and P6. That's going to be some good points for them. I do believe it's 3 points. So both of those drivers will grab points. They are the second team to score points in the sprint qualifying here today. Also, Bugs Bunny coming through the field as well after a spin at P1. I think Freedom and Bugs Bunny will be coming through the field. That'll be good to see how that all works out. And then we're just waiting for the admins to get the call to say we're ready to go, and that will be in the next few seconds. So we'll see how that all works out. But until then, what can we talk about? I think we can talk about, what can we talk about? Well, actually, why not? Let's talk about real racing for a minute. The USA Grand Prix, as of time of recording, the USA Grand Prix just happened. And what an exciting race that truly was. Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton. I was on the edge of my seat, and that's my home Grand Prix as well. As I'm here in California, so US Grand Prix is my home Grand Prix, and I was super excited to see an incredible race. And something that I think a lot of people forgot about, including myself, is that Sergio Perez had like no water during the Grand Prix, and so there was no way for him to actually like just keep up the performances that he was showing. So that's why he kind of dropped back in the race, and I felt so bad for him because it's super hot there. You know, it's super hot in Texas, so that was super unfortunate to see, of course. But he still held on to P3. Astonishing, really. So he'll come back at the Mexican Grand Prix, which will be his home race as well. Can't wait to see. I'm a huge Sergio Perez fan, so I want to see Sergio Perez do good. And just the battle between Lewis and Max was absolutely incredible. But enough talk about that. Let's get into the Grand Prix. We're readying up now. The admins have gone for the call. They have let us all know that it is time for the race. And as you can see, as we head into the loading screen, it is truly time for the Belgian Grand Prix here in LFR. This is round 10 of the Season 2 Championship race in the Tuesday night tier. This is an incredible race. It truly was in the sprint qualifying, of course. And now we're heading into an even better race. I mean, we just got a taste of what's to come. I mean, 5 laps we got of non-stop action, overtakes, action, even a bit of rain in that qualifying session as well. Now we head into the race, which is the true race, the true battle. This is where it really does matter, and this is going to be incredible, guys. I can't wait for this Grand Prix to happen. We will, I think, get a formation lap, so we'll do the rundown of the grid from the results from last time out at the sprint race. So we'll do that, and I think we'll get the race underway as we just have a few seconds to wait for the drivers to set their setups. They're getting ready to do all they need to do. They're probably talking with their teammates. Maybe some of them are in a group party there, and they're probably talking like what strategy you like and all that sort of thing. Actually, that's a good point. I'm glad I mentioned that. Strategy. You're probably wondering what the strategy is for today's race. Well, it is a quite interesting one. From experience, I know that you could definitely push the tires for a while, but they don't last, particularly the softs. They do not last for around here. But let me tell you my thoughts on strategy. The best would probably be a medium to soft, but that's the thing, guys, is that mediums are going to be terrible for the first 5 laps. That's going to be absolutely, it's going to be horrible, really. I mean, we'll have to see how this all works out, but I think the mediums are going to be a very, very difficult tire if you start on them. We'll find out how it all works out. Tim's starting on those medium tires. Let's see how that all works out for the Aston Martin driver. But in terms of strategy, I think the mediums to softs is the best strategy for around here, but I think the fastest strategy might be these soft to mediums. But that's the thing. If you can make sure that you keep your mediums just within the pace of the softs, done. You got a good result. That's really how it works out. That's all I can really say, guys. If you can manage those mediums, then you got it. You really have a good result of getting a good result. Because the thing is, after lap 5, the race all goes to you. Your competitiveness will just get better and better, because the thing is that the mediums after lap 5, they're going to be much faster than the softs, because they're basically the softs are going to be the slower tire because they're going to degrade after lap 5. They will degrade. The mediums will start coming into a faster tire, so it's kind of reversed in a way of what it was just the previous 5 laps. So that's kind of how it's going to be. And basically, all you need to do is make it through those first 5 laps. That's all what needs to happen. So in Tim's case, same with Warren and everyone that's starting on the medium compound tires, just get through the first 5 laps, then start pushing on those medium tires. That's what's really going to be. And then, of course, you can pit for the soft. So you're going to be on faster tires from lap 5 onward. It's going to work out if it's like that. Of course, starting on the softs is a good option as well. You could definitely do that. You're going to be fast at the start. You're going to have a little bit less pace with the mediums towards the end, but that's okay. You'll still have a good pace. And, of course, safety car can come out at any point as well, which could mix up the strategy. Rain could also affect the end result here today. But let's do the rundown of the grid. Tim grabbed the win in the sprint qualifying format. He'll start on pole position in today's Grand Prix. Tim's championship rival, Rabbi, in the Haas is starting P2 in the soft compound tires. Let's see how that all works out with the 2 different strategies going to the 2 drivers. They're starting first and second on the grid. Roar in that Aston Martin starts P3 with Keen. They have a nice battle in that sprint qualifying format. Can't wait to see that continue. The 2 McLarens are starting P5 and P6. It's an all McLaren third row of the grid with Bugs Bunny and Freedom, who are looking to recover after some spins that they both had in the sprint qualifying. They're starting P7 and P8. Chem Jazz in the Mercedes is starting P9 with Mr. Basil in the Alfa Romeo starting on the medium compound tires. Flea, Nero, and then we got Nem, and then Laddie, Contra, Ryan, and then Dave rounding off the grid for Red Bull Racing. But let's get this race underway. This is the LFR stream, and this is the LGE coverage of the round 10 race for the Belgian Grand Prix here at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps. I'm your commentator for today's race, Formula Jonah, and we're about to get the race underway as the 5 red lights go out for today's Grand Prix in Belgium. And the lights are out, and away we go, and it looks like a pretty even start for the front 2 as they lead us away down into turn 1. The Aston Martin driver and the Haas go side by side, but it looks like Rab just about gets ahead. They both go off track. They're going to lose the positions to Roar, who takes the lead of the Grand Prix now. The Aston Martin has moved up into first, Tim down to second place. There was contact with the 2. They forced each other off the track. Keen is now up into P3. A nice battle between the top 4 now. They've broken away from the rest of the field there. I think there was a Mercedes off the track. That's Jazz, but look at the front here. We got almost 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Down into turn 5 we go. Who's going to come out ahead? Keen and Tim make contact. They both go off the track. Keen tries to go side by side now with Roar, who's trying to get involved in this. These 2 had a nice battle in the sprint qualifying format that was contact because Tim got ahead of Roar, who's now moved down to P3. Bugs Bunny is up to P5. What a great start for the Ferrari driver. But up at the front, Roar on the back of Keen. These 2 looking to go side by side, looking at Aston Martin just behind the AlphaTauri as we come through Puan. Roar trying to go round the outside of Keen. He's got a lot of speed, that Aston Martin driver does, as Keen's trying to defend. As we come down to the chicane, the AlphaTauri goes a little bit wide, but just about keeps ahead. Rab in that Haas, just right behind with Bugs Bunny. Rab didn't get the best of starts, of course. There was contact with Tim and himself. I wonder if the stewards are going to look into that little incident there. It might just be a warning for both of them. Roar goes a little bit wide. That allows Rab to try and get the move on the Aston Martin driver. Look at the slipstream from the Haas driver as we come down into Blanchimont. And let's just see how this works out. By the way, predicted pit stop strategy is a soft to hard, but look at Keen on Tim as Freedom retires from the Grand Prix. We'll catch back up with that as Keen goes around the outside of the Aston Martin car. There was contact with the 2 as well. That's a virtual safety car that has been called out on track. And there was contact with Tim, I think, and Keen, as I do believe there, oh my gosh, there's 3 cars that are out of the Grand Prix. What happened there? Dave, Ryan, and Freedom all out at Blanchimont. What happened? That's a three-way collision there, as Keen and Tim go side by side. What's going on here? I think Tim will just about get ahead. I think there was maybe a little glitch. You know, sometimes the car has to, you know, sometimes the there's a little bit of a glitch where the driver does get ahead, but then doesn't get ahead. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's kind of weird. Just oh, it looks like that's going on. I think what's going on is that Keen's trying to give that position, or Keen's trying to re-overtake Tim because the game's maybe telling him to, or something like that. You know, sometimes that's how it works. It's just a glitch that happens, guys. There's nothing really to say, really. It's just how it goes. But Freedom, Ryan, and Dave all out of the Belgian Grand Prix. It's not been the best of the days for all three of those drivers here today. But that's how it goes. We move on to the next one for all three. They'll come back stronger. But now the virtual safety car has been deployed, and it has been turned into a full core safety car that will pick up Tim, and Tim will lead us away at the safety car, and it'll probably last around 2 laps, maybe 1 lap if the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes catch up the field. I think that's actually Basil that made a little spin, I think, up Puan. That Alfa Romeo will catch back up. Same with the Mercedes of Jazz, who had to pit earlier on due to, I think, a contact at a Rouge at the top of the hill. It was Radion. And he's survived, of course, and he's going to come back, and he's going to be fighting for the top positions as well. That'll be great to see, of course, him coming through the field. The safety car has helped him out. Same with Basil as well. So this will help them out. Now, if you were on the soft compound tires, would you pit? Probably not. I wouldn't pit. As drivers were looking to make a pit stop, but didn't make a pit. Yeah, I'm not gonna. If I was on the soft compound tires, I would not pit. I would stay out probably to around lap 8 or so, because the thing is that now that the safety car has been called out, the softs are going to degrade less for the time under this full course safety car. So this will help out tire degradation. So we'll see how this all works out. But I think Tim. This has really helped out everyone's strategy in terms of tire wear, because now they're going to have to conserve their tires. Maybe they underfueled their car a little bit as well, and they're going to gain a little bit more fuel as well. So this is kind of a win-win for everyone as it stands. A little bit of a cool down after what happened on the first couple laps. What a great battle that was, especially between the top 4 drivers. Gotta say as well, Bugs Bunny really flying through the field up to P5 already, and was looking to make the move on the Haas driver of Rab. I think he wants a win. I think he's going for that win, and he's been very quick throughout this session so far in Belgium. I mean, he almost grabbed pole. If it wasn't for that car right ahead of him, I think Bugs Bunny probably would have had pole. And if it wasn't for the spin at Puan, he probably would have had the win as well. It's really, really interesting to see how that all worked out. But I mean, actually, if he didn't spin off at Puan, I think it would have been a really close battle between the 3 of Tim, Rab, and Bugs Bunny. I don't know if he would have won that race, but my point is that he would have been in contention for that. So Bugs Bunny will be coming through the field. That's my statement right there. But we'll see how that all works out. But the Mercedes safety car will most likely go in this lap, as the safety car has been deployed due to the contact with the 3 drivers, I do believe. That is Dave, Ryan, and Freedom, who are all out of the Grand Prix. 14 drivers remain. And if you guys are just joining us, definitely watch the stream back. You guys can check out the replay of the stream. Definitely do that. And if you guys want to see more LFR content, definitely subscribe to this channel to see more content on this league. Safety car will be coming in this lap. And as I said many times as well, if you're subscribing to this, please go over and subscribe to me as well. Formula Joe and I really appreciate that. Yeah, let's get this race underway. As it looks like Warren got a 5-second penalty for contact with Laddie. I wonder if there was a driver that hit the back of the McLaren, or something happened there, or I don't know, but that's how that goes. But yes, let's get this race underway as the safety car will be coming in this lap. The Aston Martin of Tim not really backing up the field here. He's actually around 6/10 to the AlphaTauri driver. He's not really backing up the field. But now he goes. That's going to affect, though, a lot, as now Tim loses the car a little bit, as the pack's going to be really unorganized here due to that. Sector 3 yellow flag, that's the Alfa Romeo of Basil, who's out of the Grand Prix. But coming down into turn 1 we go. Tim leads us away from the AlphaTauri of King, who's right behind that Aston Martin driver. And the AlphaTauri is going to be looking to make a move on the Aston Martin as soon as possible. Now, the AlphaTauri is on the soft compound tires, so I expect him to be a lot faster, especially he's going to be on warmer tires than those mediums that Tim has on. Look at the slipstream from the AlphaTauri. Keen looking for that move, but cannot get past. Rab on Roar as well. Here comes the Haas driver down the inside of the Aston Martin. There's a little bit of contact with the two, as they still go side by side coming through. Lecom's out of turn 7 we go, as here comes Rivage. Bugs Bunny trying to go side by side with the Aston Martin. Down the inside goes the Ferrari driver and up into P4. Good move by Bugs Bunny. Good move from Rab as well. Both move up into P3 and P4. Roar down to P5 now, as he lost out in that battle, but he'll be coming back. He'll be coming back, and he'll be looking to get more positions. He'll be looking to re-overtake these two drivers. We'll see how that all works out. Rab on Keen as well. Same with Bugs Bunny. These guys are all in the battle. Same with Roar. Dr. Wolfane is a little further behind these guys, but is in that battle. So this is going to get really interesting. But up at the front, Tim still leads us away by Keen. 1.1 seconds separates the top two there. 1.2 seconds. That gap will most likely keep increasing. But Keen under pressure from Rab. I think Rab looking for that move on the AlphaTauri driver, looking to get back up into P2 and looking to make that move fast. So he's going for the move into Blanchim. Up we go. Keen trying to defend the inside line. The Haas trying to go around the outside of the AlphaTauri as we come through turn 18 and 19. The chicane. Bugs Bunny looking to make the move as well, as here comes the Ferrari driver. He's looking to go side by side with these guys as well, but it looks at the Haas just at the back off there. Bugs Bunny looking to try and make a move as well, but the Haas driver looking for that position as he was looking to send it. Here comes the Aston Martin driver on the Ferrari. A nice battle for P2. 4 cars involved in this. This is great to see, as Rab trying to make that move. 1/10 just separates the top two here. A much better exit for him. Here comes Bugs Bunny on Rab. Could we see a 3-way, maybe 4-way battle for P2 in the Grand Prix? 4 wide possibly, as here we go, almost 3 wide as we come down to the clumps. This isn't gonna end well, or is it? As they come down to that section, there is contact as Bugs Bunny is off the track. Contact with there, and they were just going 3 wide. That was never gonna end up well, and it just unfortunately didn't end well for Bugs Bunny. That was really brave. Oh, that's Tim that I think just went off the track. And I do believe that was at the exit of Rivage. It's now called Brussels, if I'm not mistaken. As the Ferrari of Bugs Bunny has spun once again, I do believe. Wait, where is he on track? Oh, there he is. Coming out of that section. That spin, or that contact with the other driver, really hurt his chances of getting up to the rest of the field. Of course, 17 seconds now to Jazz. He's going to have to make a massive recovery drive if he's going to get some good points here today. We'll find out, though. As yellow flag, that is the Mercedes of Nem. I think that is just spun. Ooh, a lot of contact on track. A lot of cars going slowly. I think that was Nem Vidic in the Mercedes. There's wind on the track. I think he must have spun at the exit of the chicane. Maybe got too much on the gravel to the right of him and spun it into the wall. That's probably what happened there. What's interesting is that Rab has closed the gap now to 9/10 of a second. This is getting really interesting up at the front, as Contra gets a 3-second time penalty from 7th down to 10th. They all have 3-second time penalties, if I'm not mistaken. As Contra and Jazz come into the pit lane, probably putting on to a fresh set of mediums, maybe even softs. Or hards, okay. Jazz going for the hard tires and a front wing change as well. What about Contra? He's going for the mediums, but I do believe there was a 5-second time penalty for the Red Bull driver there, with that beautiful Turkish Grand Prix Honda tribute livery there. The Red Bull comes out of the pit lane. He's going to be behind Jazz there on a fresh set of medium compound tires. Had to change his wing. I think they both made contact maybe with who was it? It was Vidic, I think. Maybe there was contact with those guys. Don't know exactly. But up at the front, we got that nice battle for first. Oh, wait, what happened to Tim? Tim's down to P2. Something happened to Tim. Rab is now into P1. I missed that. I'm sorry, guys. I missed that. Tim now into P2. What happened to Tim? I wonder if Rab overtook him on the straight, and I just didn't see it on track. I was focusing on that pit stops that the drivers in the back were having there. And I didn't focus on this, but no brainer, all good. Rab up into P1, Tim now down to P2, and that Aston Martin of Roar now in the battle of P3. Keen right there as well. Same with Dr. Wolfane, who's in that nice battle. The two AlphaTauris running really strongly today as Keen and Flea up in P4 and P6. That's really working out for them so far. Keen trying to send it down the inside of Roar. Personally, no, he's not going to make the move. Smart decision, of course. As the AlphaTauri looks to go for the switchback maneuver on the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin gets a better line out there. Look at Tim, though, trying to get ahead of Rab as Rab really trying to break that DRS zone there. The slipstream off the Aston Martin. Look how close the Aston Martin got ahead. As look at this, we got Keen and Roar side by side. Are they going to go side by side through a Rouge? I wouldn't recommend it, as Keen backs off there and decides not to get the slipstream or go side by side with Roar. But here he comes now. He's going to make the move on the Aston Martin driver. Here we go. They both didn't get DRS because they were side by side, but look up at the front. Tim gets past Rab and up into P1. Tim retakes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix as Bugs Bunny retires in the pit lane. That could bring out a VSC. Most likely not, but the Ferrari driver in the pit lane, unfortunately, due to the contact with a few of those drivers going 3 wide, affected his race, and maybe he just had too much damage and couldn't continue. But Tim has retaken P1. Keen defended that, and Roar could not get past at this time. Roar will try and get past Keen as soon as possible. But Roarding in that Aston Martin running strongly as well, looking to make a move on Keen as soon as possible. The two Aston Martins looking for another podium, another double podium, of course, in today's race as Dave leads the session. I do believe he's already retired from the session, so that makes sense why he has left the session. And maybe Dave can also join the live stream as well. If you guys know anyone that is looking to, I don't know, just have some free time right now and would like to watch, send them a link to the live stream. We're going to get some more viewers in here. So definitely go do that, as that is the yellow flag of, I do believe that's Nero there in the Ferrari that spun off at the exit of campus section. So the Ferrari driver loses the car there, and that's unfortunate, of course, but these things do happen. And this track is very difficult, you know? I mean, it's my favorite track in the entire world, but it is a very difficult circuit to manage. It really is. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if this is my favorite. I think this is my favorite circuit in the world. It's either this one or Laguna Seca, since I'm a huge fan of Laguna Seca. I don't know. Or, I like, what's the other track? I like Imola as well. I really like Imola. Enough talking about me. Let's talk about Tim and Rab as the Haas driver makes the move on Tim up into P1 now. Keen on Roar as well, or Roar on Keen, sorry. The Aston Martin driver looking to make a move on the AlphaTauri as well, but the lead has changed hands once again on lap 8. The two swap positions, the championship leaders. Rab really trying to get the max amount of points off of Tim here today. If they finish like this, they'll pretty much get equal points, I would say, due to Tim getting the advantage in the sprint qualifying format here today. But Rab will lead us away into the end of lap 8. Now, the question is, are those softs degrading? I think they are. Probably about now, because the tires usually degrade around lap 6. That's when they start degrading. But due to the safety car, that really helped out the tire wear. Here comes the Aston Martin driver on Rab. Rab went a little too wide. They're going to go side by side, the two championship contenders. Down into Blanchimont we go. Who's going to come out ahead? They're still side by side. Oh, a little contact, I do believe, as the Aston Martin driver looks to try and get the move on Rab as we come down into the chicane. Now, the final chicane, the Aston Martin right in the back of the Haas driver, and he can't get past quite yet. But Tim looking for that move, looking to try and make a move on Rab, who tries to break the slipstream. The Aston Martin looking for the move on the Haas driver. Gets, a little contact, I do believe, with the rear wheel of the Haas car and the front wing of the Aston Martin. I wonder if the Aston Martin got damaged. It doesn't look like it, but look at Tim. He's right on the back of Rab as we come through a Rouge and Radion. Keep an eye on the battle for P3 in the Grand Prix. Looks like Roar looking to make the move on overtake on King as they are side by side. But who else is side by side? It's Tim and Rab going side by side, and look comes. They're going to try and go side by side. No, it doesn't look like it, because Tim just had enough speed to get it up into P1. The lead has changed hands once again here in LFR, and Tim has moved up into P1. What a move that was from the Aston Martin driver, and what a move it was from the second Aston Martin driver. Roar in that Aston Martin gets up into P3, and look who's joined the party. Dr. Wolfane in the McLaren has joined that party in P3. Roar and Keen have been battling it out, but now Dr. Wolfane says, I want to get in that mix for the podium, and he's going to go for that. He's definitely going to be going for that podium. So we'll find out how this all works out, as Wolfane will be looking to make a move on Keen. If I'm not mistaken, these two are both admins in the server as well, so an admin battle shaping up right here. That'll be great to see, of course. But yeah, Dr. Wolfane, Keen, Roar, and Rab all gonna have to pit probably in the next 2 laps, I would say. Now, I wonder if Rab's gonna want to get the undercut. We'll find out, as that is Nero that has lost a car, and I do believe that is at No Name Corner, which is actually No Name Corner. It's actually what it's called. As it looks like the Ferrari driver off the track there, he's moving down to P11. Looks like a nice little battle for P6 in the Grand Prix. Warren and Flea are swapping positions. But look at this. The top 5 have all pit, except to Tim, of course. They have all pit onto a set, most likely, of medium compound tires. Yes, that is the mediums for these drivers. It would have been not the best to stay out on track. Unless you're Warren, because his teammates in the pit lane, you don't want to double stack. Warren will come out in P2. And it looks like Roar, King, and Dr. Wolfane. Actually, what happened to Rab? What happened to Rab? He's down to P6. What happened to oh, he's lost the car a little bit too. He hit the wall, I think. What happened to the Haas driver? I wonder if he got held up in the pit lane. Oh, that's super unfortunate for the Haas driver here today. No matter the case, he is down to P6, going to lose a lot of time to his rival. Now Roar is going to be in the best chance of winning this Grand Prix if Tim, if he starts gaining a lot of time on Tim. So this is really hurt Rab's chances of the championship here today. And oh, this is super unfortunate for the Haas driver. He's going to definitely have to come back through the field. We will find out how this all works out in due time. And by the way, there is still a few more rounds left of the season. We're going to a completely different race next time out. Singapore, it's going to be. We're heading to the Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore. Then we're heading to France, then Japan, Brazil, Portugal, Imola, and then Abu Dhabi to round off the season. So there is still some points to score. There's still a lot more rounds to score. We are pretty much at the halfway mark of the season. Canada was actually the halfway mark of the season. Yeah, Belgium, we're a little further into the season. Championship is still up for grabs here today between these two. It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see what happens in this season. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I don't commentate on this league too much because I'm usually busy on Tuesdays. Yeah, I love watching these races. They are incredible. Because look at the racing we're getting on track right now. It's incredible. Yeah, we actually have had a lot of overtakes in today's race. Belgium does provide a lot of great overtakes, the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, and it is great to see some great overtakes. And speaking of overtakes, we have Keen trying to make a move on Roar. He's got the DRS on the Aston Martin driver. Is he just going to be a rocket ship down the straight, or maybe not use? Actually, he's using a little bit of ERS here. Here he comes. He can't get the move on Roar quite yet. Gains a lot of time, though, on the Aston Martin driver. So the battle will continue on just a few laps later. Rab starting to close the gap on Dr. Wolfane, who is P4 as it stands. Rab coming through the field, looking to get ahead of these 3 drivers and get up into P2 and then start chasing after Tim, who's starting to gain time on Roar. And I think that's because Roar is under pressure from King. Also, a nice little battle for P6 in the race. We got Warren on the soft compound tires. Same with Flea on the soft compound tires. Warren on Laddie, who pit for the medium compound tires. The Alpine looking to stay ahead of that McLaren, but that McLaren on a much fresher tires. He's looking to go for the move. A little bit of lag going on right here as they're going to go side by side down into Pouan, and what a move that was from Warren. Good move, but the Alpine comes back at him, but it looks like he just about keeps behind. McLaren make a great move. That was a very impressive move by Warren. Up into P6 now. Very impressive stuff. As King trying to make a move on Roar as we come down into the bus stop chicane. These two side by side almost into the next couple of corners. I'm expecting they're probably going to go. Oh, is Dr. Wolfane off the track at the chicane. I wonder if he lost the car a little bit. Maybe went a little too wide or braked, you know, late. Misjudged his braking point. That's probably what happened. But Rab has moved up to the P4. That's good for him. Good for his chances of winning this Grand Prix. But right now, we got a nice battle for P2. We got Keen on Roar, and it looks to be Keen already making the move before the DRS is even enabled. As Fleece is the fastest lap of the race on those fresh, soft compound tires, the Scuderia AlphaTauri car moves up into P2, while his teammate Fleece sets the fastest lap of the race. A good lap for AlphaTauri. Yeah, Keen up into P2. Good move from him. He's now going to start chasing after Tim. But Roar not giving this one up anytime soon as well. Meanwhile, Laddie has just retired from the session on track as well. He spun off out of Rouge, and ooh, lots of damage to the Alpine car. And unfortunately, he is retired from the session, and he's going to be the 6th retirement of the Belgian Grand Prix. And that's unfortunate, of course, but these things do happen in racing. I'm sure they'll come back stronger at the next one in Singapore. Roar on the back of Keen as well. That battle still continuing on as we just have around 10 laps remaining of the Belgian Grand Prix. Question is, when will Tim pit? He's staying out for a few more laps, of course. That's to be expected. He will probably pit on lap 14, maybe lap 15, probably lap 15. That's probably when he's going to pit. Depends on what type of tires he does have. I think he has a fresh set of softs, but I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I'm mistaken or not. We'll see how that all works out. But anyway, Roar on the back of King. The battle continues on for second place as Roar has the DRS. You don't see a lot of moves into La Sauce. But here comes the Aston Martin driver. He backs off. Is Roar? King backs off there. I wonder. I don't know if that's a penalty or not. I don't think that's a penalty for gaining, because now he's gonna have the DRS. He kind of let him past. But now Roar is going to get ahead, or King's going to get ahead of Roar. I don't know if that's going to be a warning or something like that. I don't know how that works in this league with kind of slowing down to get the DRS. I don't know how that rule is applied in this league. But that's the way it goes. I don't know. The stewards will have to look into that. But Roar on the back of King still as they swap positions once again. Rab starting to close the gap on these guys. Now, Tim's tires. I'm surprised that Tim has actually not stopped in the Grand Prix. If I'm not mistaken, he was the one, the last time I commentated on LFR was the Portuguese Grand Prix. That was earlier on in the season, and I think he was the one that stayed out on like 17 laps on the soft tires. So I know tire wear is different in this race, but just I think he's one to stay out on the tires that he has on. You know, I mean, he can stay out on those mediums for a while and keep consistently like keep up the pace. You know, that's pretty impressive, you know. So we'll see how that all works out, but he has gained a lot of time on Keen. But look at Roar pressurizing that AlphaTauri as soon as possible as let's see if he's going to try and make the move. Keen defends the inside line, of course. Roar trying to go around the outside, maybe for the switchback maneuver. Couldn't get past Keen. Oh, as Keen goes a little wide there, makes a little mistake. Roar gets ahead. Gets the DRS as well. Keen using the ERS. He's going to maybe try and make a move on the Aston Martin drivers. Oh, Roar goes a little wide. That allows Keen to try and make a move. A look at Rab there now in the fight as well. The three are now battling for position in for P2 in this race. This is great to see this. Keen's going to have another slate shot down to turn 5 into Lacombs. DRS has now been enabled. Roar using ERS. He's got a lot of ERS to spare, actually. Look at this, 3 wide. 3 wide, down into Lacombs we go, as that was almost a Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher battle from 2000. As that was great to see that. That was incredible racing from those guys. Rab just went round the outside and then battled with Keen. Unfortunately, Keen got ahead for, unfortunate for Rab, it was that Keen got ahead. But that was an incredible battle for these 3 drivers. Great to see Keen also making that move on Roar. Great to see Rab making that move on Keen. That was just great battling there. Incredible. So that was great. Rab now gonna have to try and get past Keen, because for him, unfortunately, he couldn't get past Keen at that particular section. Keen just defended that too well and was able to keep ahead. So now he has to try and get past this. Actually, Roar trying to go side by side with Rab. That's gonna help out Keen to get ahead a little bit more. But here comes the Aston Martin and the Haas, who make a little bit of wheel banging there, as Tim finally does stop in this Grand Prix. Where is he going to come out? I think he's going to come out right behind the top three there, as that is the AlphaTauri of Flea spinning off at Campus, I do believe that is, at the chicane. Tim goes on to the softs. What a battle this is going to be. Keen will most likely take the lead of the Grand Prix, unless Tim will just about get ahead. Is Tim going to get ahead? Oh my goodness, Tim's going to get ahead here, guys. Tim is actually, he's actually done it, guys. That was incredible. He's actually kept the gap. And he's got the race win. I think he's got the race win. But look at this. Rab on Keen. Keen using ERS. Roar trying to use ERS as well. This is great battling for P2 in the Grand Prix. Are they going to have another 3-wide moment? We will find out. Rab keeps ahead for now. Keen trying to make the move on the Haas driver. Here comes Roar trying to go right in the middle of those guys, as here comes the Aston Martin making a move on Rab. The two get past Rab. Keen up into P2, Roar up into P3, Rab down to P4. Also, Roar got a 3-second time penalty. That's going to allow Rab to get up into P3 as it stands with the gap that he does have. And I think he knows that Tim most likely has this one unless there's a crash or something like that. Because he's already got a 5.2 second gap on fresher tires and all the rest of the guys on faster tires as well. Tim most likely has this race win. He's going purple in the second sector. But yeah, Rab knows that, and I think Rab's probably going to go for P2. I think his main focus is battling Keen right now, because he knows that Roar has got that 3-second time penalty. Roar will eventually move down to P4 if he keeps this gap, so Rab will probably most likely battle away with Keen, but we'll find out. Keen trying to defend against Roar, who's possibly going side by side. The battle continues on between these three drivers. This is incredible racing, truly incredible racing between these three guys. Great to see this, really is. But Roar, I think, just about gets ahead. The Aston Martin makes it a 1-2 for Aston Martin as it stands. Roar gets, oh, he goes a little bit wide though. Roar goes wide, but keeps ahead. I think, what happened there? I think Roar went wide and then eventually just got past Keen. It looked like he went wide, but still had the pace to be able to keep ahead of the AlphaTauri driver. Speaking of that, AlphaTauri is going to go side by side with Roar's. Rab going to try and get involved in that one as well. It doesn't look like it. The two looks like Keen and Roar going side by side. Oh, and there's contact. Rab has made contact with Keen as well. Keen's been spun around by contact with Roar. There was contact between the two. That is definitely going to go in the Stewart's book today, as those two did make contact. Unfortunate to see that. That's going to be now, oh, Keen off the track. He's going to be in the gravel now. He's going to be moving down to P6, it looks like, because both McLarens will get up into P4 and P5. Oh, that's super unfortunate for Keen. And there was contact between Roar and himself. Keen down to P6 now. Was looking for that podium, still can get that podium, but it's going to be really difficult to do so. That's going to be unfortunate, of course, for Keen. Yeah, hopefully he'll move on to the next one and look to challenge for the podium at the next one, because he's got the pace. He really does have the pace, but unfortunately there was contact between himself and Roar. I don't know who was at fault there. I'll have to look back at the incident a little bit later on and see, but there was contact. Keen down to P6. I wonder if Rab got damage due to that. It kind of looks like he did. I wonder if he slowed down the car just in time, though. I think he did, actually. So that's good. But now it is an Aston Martin 1-2 in the Grand Prix. They lead the Belgian Grand Prix 1-2. Incredible for the Aston Martin team. The team actually goes really well for rounds here. Jordan picked up a win back in the late 90s. I think it was 98. Damon Hill for Jordan, which of course is now Aston Martin, picked up a win. Aston Martin, which was back then known as Jordan, of course, picked up that win. And then, of course, Force India, before it was called Aston Martin, of course, they scored their first ever pole position back in 2008, finished second with Giancarlo Fisichella in that race. And then I do believe it was 2018 when Esteban Ocon scored his best starting position in a Grand Prix, starting third. Force India with Checo Perez, and Esteban Ocon started third and fourth. That was the same race when Racing Point got into the team, of course, when it was renamed as Force India Racing Point Force India, and the next season, of course, in 2019, it was renamed as Racing Point. A lot of history with this particular team at this track. It's gone through a lot of different names in the past, but yeah, has had a lot of success here in Belgium. And what could have been, you know, for the team in Belgium, all the teams really in 2021, that rain-filled race. Super unfortunate, of course, for all those drivers that weren't able to attend the Grand Prix. I mean, of course, it was kind of an odd race, of course, because the race didn't really happen. Max Verstappen won that, but did he really? Did he win that race? I don't know. I think the biggest highlight of that was George Russell. I mean, that really just proved that he is a Mercedes driver. I mean, if it didn't before, it really did prove it right there. So, yeah, just going down memory lane of all the Belgian Grand Prix that we've had in the past. I don't know why, just felt like it. But anyway, we have 18 laps in the Grand Prix. Just a few laps remain. We're riding on board with Tim, who has had very, very strong weekend here today. Couldn't grab pole position in the short qualifying format. He got past Bugs Bunny, then he got past Rab, and now is up into P1 once again in the Grand Prix. He won that sprint qualifying format race, and then he's winning this one as well, unless something does happen, which can still happen. Stuff can still happen in racing. We're at this point in the Grand Prix where we're kind of not having too much action on track. Not a lot of action right now. The two Aston Martins looking to get a better result here today. They're P1, P2. It's going to be great for them. A double podium once again for the Aston Martin team. They're going to lead the championship by even more points to their rivals in this championship. We will see how it all works out in the end of it. In terms of the championship, we mentioned this a little bit earlier on. Aston Martin lead the way from Haas by just a few points. So this is going to be huge for Aston Martin on Haas. I mean, Rab is still going to score P3 in the Grand Prix, but this is going to be really big for all these guys here today. We'll see how it all works out. With Aston Martin, they will definitely take home a huge lead in this championship over Haas, as King gets a 3-second time penalty for going wide. I wonder if he has a little bit of damage over the contact with Roar, and we don't know if that incident will be going to the stewards or not. I have to look back at that, like I said, and see what happened. Keen's still in a top 5 position as it stands, so this will be good for him, of course. He will grab P5 as it stands. Unfortunately, it could have been a P2, it could have been even a P3, or maybe even a P1, you know? Who knows? It could have been for King, but these things do happen in racing, and unfortunately we move on to the next one. I know it's hard for drivers to lose positions, you know, due to some contact with another driver or spin or something like that, but these things happen, and they'll move on to the next one stronger. Speaking of the next one, Singapore is next up, as I had mentioned many different times, and let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that track, the Marina Bay circuit. Personally, I love the track. Used to not very much like it, and that was probably just because it was such a hard track to master. It is a really difficult track to get right, but once you do, my goodness, it's a beautiful track. I love that track so much, as long as it doesn't rain. And I'm not saying it's bad that it doesn't rain, that it does rain, but it is quite difficult to race in the rain on that track. And I gotta say, that race is probably the longest race, I think, in the calendar. It's one of the longest races on the calendar. But yeah, that's how racing goes. We'll see how it all works out. The Singapore Grand Prix will be next up on LFR. Of course, these guys still have the Sunday division, which is coming out on Sunday, of course. And then we'll move back to the Monday division, which will be Singapore. And then that weekend, of course, of the 3 tiers. So that will be good as well. Okay, so we are now on lap 20 out of 22. We've had an amazing race, truly we have. We've had a standstill point after I'd say after the contact with Keen and Roar, that kind of separated the field a lot, and we didn't get too much action on track. I think our closest battle might be Flea versus Nem Vidic, who is back into P7 now after the earlier contact, I think, with some drivers at this particular part of the track. But now he's in P7, battling with Flea, who's on 3-lap-old soft tires. He's going to be trying to get P7 in the Grand Prix. That'll be good for him. He's using ERS to try and get past the Mercedes driver as soon as possible. Here comes the AlphaTauri. Round Blanchimont we go. Nem going a little wide. That allows the AlphaTauri to try and go side by side with the Mercedes. Oh, contact between the two there. As there was contact, I think the Mercedes just about closed the door on the AlphaTauri to the left there. Unfortunate to see that, of course, but they'll move on. And it doesn't look like there's any damage to the AlphaTauri or the Mercedes as it stands. But Flea, loses the car a little bit there. He's going to have ERS. He's going to try and catch up back to Nem and get past. He has a few laps remaining. He still could try and get past the Mercedes driver. It's actually Nem just got a another 3-second time penalty, so that'll be actually helpful for Flea, who will now be able to try and get past the Mercedes driver for equal position here. He's going to go for it. The AlphaTauri down the inside on the Mercedes driver. Almost contact. They were very close together, of course, and the AlphaTauri just about gets ahead. Great racing between those two, and they continue on. The Flea will move up into 7th place now. And that AlphaTauri will be getting 7th place as it stands, unless Nem overtakes the AlphaTauri in the next 2 laps. We will find out. As it looks, for a second, it looked like one driver was pitting there, but it doesn't look like a driver was pitting. I think I don't really know any more battles. Not too many battles. I think our closest fight really is Nem versus Flea still. I think that is our closest fight for P7 in the Grand Prix. But in terms of racing, we just got 2 laps remaining of this LFR race. Oh, a little warning light for Rab there, as I wonder if he's losing a little bit of fuel. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And speaking of low fuel, when you're in low fuel mode, you're actually, you don't lose a lot of time. It's just like you just have a little bit of a down on power, really. I kind of like that they did that. It was a little bit, I mean, it's more realistic to have it where you actually have like 0 fuel, but you have to finish the race at least. So I kind of like it that they've let you go faster, you know, with the low fuel mode. Because that's the thing, is that you can't put it on rich anymore or lean. You can't really save or burn fuel. So you kind of have to manage the fuel situation a lot more, especially through corners, earlier in the Grand Prix, during the safety car as well. It could be quite interesting to see how that all works out. But I think we're about to start the final lap of the LFR Round 10 race here in Belgium at the Circuit des Sports Francorchamps circuit. By the way, Rab will most likely grab P2. I forgot to mention this because he's got a 2.6 second gap. He's trying to make sure he keeps that gap. Roar trying to keep that gap, or trying to extend on that gap. But Rab really flying right now because Roar's got that 3-second time penalty. So Rab will most likely take P2. I think he'll be satisfied with that one after being in the pit lane, of course. That is Warren, I think, that has just gone off the track in the gravel there at turn 12 and 13. As he enters campus section, I do believe there was contact with the curb. I think he just hit the curb there, really. That's all I can say. So that's that, you know. But he'll be still in P6, and he won't lose too much time to Flea there. And basically, he's going to still finish in P6, so that'll be good for him. AlphaTauri and McLaren will score some decent points here today. And in this race, we'll just end off by looking at Tim here, our race leader. We haven't had a lot of action. We haven't really focused on him quite a bit because he's been out front by 17 seconds. He's gained a 17.3 second gap to Tim. Incredible. Absolutely incredible from Tim. He has really, really gone through and he's really just managed this one well. He's dominated this race. It's been incredible to see how this all works out with him. Very, very, very good by the Aston Martin driver. Speaking of drivers, I think that was Contra that just spun off there. All good though. I think he may have lost the car a little bit, but he hasn't lost too much time. I think he's still going to finish in P11. But Tim, round Blanchimont we go. The Aston Martin driver comes through the final few corners of the Grand Prix. He started P3 in the short qualifying format. He really challenged Rab in that sprint qualifying, of course. He finished P1 in that one. and he's going to finish P1 in the overall race here today. He's going to savor every moment as the Aston Martin driver comes across the line. Tim wins the Belgian Grand Prix. An incredible result for the championship leader. He extends his championship lead off of Rab, and those points that he just got could be critical for this championship. That could decide the championship. Who knows? But wow, incredible job. Tim takes P1. Rab will eventually take P2, of course, because Roar had that 3-second time penalty. Roar will make it P3, and it will be the same order, if I'm not mistaken, for the top three as it was in the sprint qualifying format. They kept their positions, and great job to all three of them. Congrats to the rest of the field as well. Incredible race for everyone. Dr. Wolfang comes across the line in P4. Good points for McLaren here today. Same with AlphaTauri. Keen will come across the line in P5 for AlphaTauri. Good result for him, of course. Warren in that McLaren will just come across the line for P6, followed by the second AlphaTauri. Flea in P7. Nem and Jazz take P8 and P9. Points for Mercedes as well. And Nero will take P10, with Concha rounding up the grid for Red Bull. The retirements of the Grand Prix were Laddie, Bugs Bunny, Brazel, Dave, Ryan, and Freedom. Those 6 did retire from the Grand Prix. Unfortunate to see that, of course, but they'll come back stronger at the Singapore Grand Prix. But that is going to be it. Your race winner here today, Tim, wins the Belgian Grand Prix, followed by Rab in the Haas and Roar for Aston Martin. A great job to all three, as they are going to finish the Belgian Grand Prix on a high here today. And Tim will extend his championship lead. Aston Martin will extend their championship lead, but that's your top three. Tim wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Driver of the day goes to Nem as well. I have to look at that and see. I think he was really climbing through the field as well. Finished P7. He had that spin earlier on, if I'm not mistaken, contact with a few of the drivers there, and he was able to grab P7, so I think that probably is driver of the day for the Mercedes driver. But here's your driver that has won the Grand Prix, lifts the trophy, Tim, and sprays the champagne as well with the second and third place drivers as well. Aston Martin lift the trophy as the team winner here today. They scored the most points in the sprint qualifying and in the race. A dominant performance from Aston Martin. Haas are going to look to try and come back at the Singapore Grand Prix and try and fight that one back with Apex and Rab as well. Both drivers will be looking to get a better result than Aston Martin to keep that championship alive. But that's the results for the Belgian Grand Prix. What an incredible race in this race, and of course in that 5-lap sprint race as well. But that is going to be it for today's race in LFR. Thank you so much for watching the Tuesday night race for round 10 of season 2. This is the Belgian Grand Prix. I've been your commentator, Formula Jonah. Hope you guys all enjoyed the commentary. If you want to check out more commentary on LFR, subscribe to this channel to see more commentary. Definitely do that. Like this video as well if you enjoyed the commentary, and if you want to check out me as well, go subscribe to Formula Jonah. So do all that, and if you want to join this league as well, contact the league. I'm sure they are looking for some drivers. But that is going to be it from here today at LFR. We will see you all in the next one.